Welcome back to Dave's Gone By and this year-ending kind of special edition of the show. And we've been asking folks what their favorite moments in theater were for 2005. Since I'm a really big theater fan and a critic, and I work on a theater magazine, so that's my big thing. And I know all these critics and people who love the theater like I do. So I'm asking them what was great for them in this year. So now we're talking to another good friend of the program. He's been on here a few times, including our special Tony show last year, Charles Gross. He's the co-host of Two on the Aisle on Manhattan Neighborhood Network with Jeff Goodman, who's, as you know, also on this very program tonight. So, Charles, welcome.
Thank you, Dave.
Always wonderful to have you. Charlie, what were your best favorite moments in the theater, Broadway or off, for 2005?
2005, I would have to start with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and that was my favorite and my most disappointing moment on Broadway.
Favorite because?
I have to say I've loved the show as a movie, and I expected to enjoy it on stage, but when I saw it, I was just blown away by it, quite frankly. The revisions that they had made it a much stronger story, the new orchestrations. I came away with a much greater appreciation of the Sherman Brothers as composers, and it is so elaborate. I mean, when Miss Saigon and Cats and Les Mis closed, we thought we had seen the last of the mega musical, and all of a sudden this car comes out and it flies, and it totally blows away any chandelier, any helicopter, any turntable you've ever seen. And I really, really had a wonderful time with it. And my disappointment is it's such a beautiful and elaborate production, with the exception of the choreography, which could have been a bit sharper. But it was beautifully staged, and unfortunately it is closing. That's my great disappointment.
That it didn't become a hit. That it became a big flop, actually, financially anyway.
Yeah. Certainly artistically, I think artistically it was snubbed, both by the Tony voters, and more disappointingly to me, by the Drama Desk, which is an organization that you and I both belong to. And I really think this has been the most underappreciated musical since Beauty and the Beast, which, also has a wonderful book and score. But people saw, it's just Disney. Right. And I think this thing, it's just a car. And it was just so much more than that. And Beauty and the Beast ran, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang will not, at least not on Broadway. And to me, that's very disappointing. See this show while you still can.
You have
bring
a couple
the family.
More days to do it.
Don't bring the family.
Don't bring anybody.
Or just go yourself, because it is certainly a show to be seen.
Cool. What other shows did you see in 2005?
On the other side of the scale, Sweeney Todd, which I also enjoyed. Now, this is this is about as bare bones a production as you could make of it. The cast is also the orchestra. But it's such a powerful production. Patti LuPone adds sex appeal to Mrs. Lovett, and she gets a few puffs in on the tuba, which is a highlight of the show.
No, that's not a metaphor. That's the actual tuba.
No,
that
she actually does play the tuba.
Yeah.
Michael Severus is scary as Sweeney.
But he's also human. I mean, you see him as being really a less... He does turn into a monster, obviously, but you see where the man became the monster.
No, actually, I don't think so, because he comes off, his head shaven, he's pale as a ghost, he's wearing a long leather jacket, he looks like he walked off the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This guy looks scary for the first minute.
I hate to tell you, but Michael Severus always looks like he was bald when he was doing Tommy. That is actually the way he looks. Sorry about that.
Maybe he's
Michael.
a scary guy. But again, it's such a reduced production. Sometimes I miss the orchestration, but on the flip side, in an era where Radio City Musical was using tape music briefly during a musician's lockout, you come away with a greater appreciation for live music, because it's such a small orchestra, and because it's on stage, you see them playing, and you can say, hey, that's the accordion, that's the guitar, that's the tuba. And you really come away with a greater appreciation for live music, which is an appreciation that I think we desperately need in the theater.
Well, really well put, Charlie. Yeah. What about a couple of the best things of the last year, Charlie Gross?
Jersey Boys.
Yeah, a lot of people, I liked it. I didn't think it was one of the best, but you really thought it was great?
I really enjoyed it quite a bit.
Okay.
That's the story of the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Doubt. God, it's a short play, but boy, it is so well balanced. This is, did a priest molest a kid or not? We never resolve that.
True.
And it's just so well balanced that you could debate it for weeks and not come to a conclusion.
You can even master debate it, if you want to. Oh, I don't even know what that means. Well, it's priests.
Cherry Jones, wonderful.
Yeah. And Brian F. O'Byrne, quite marvelous.
Yes.
I didn't like Adrian Lennox, though. No, not Adrian. The younger Goldenhirsch. Heather Goldenhirsch. I thought, what was that accent coming from? It's a good
Well, listen,
play.
if you could get by with his accent, I mean, boy, oh boy. I thought at first I thought he was supposed to be a comic figure, but, he drew you into it.
Yes.
And,
one or two more, and maybe from off-Broadway, too.
Well, let me tell you a few things I didn't like.
Did or didn't?
Did not.
Oh, okay, what?
Naked Girl was Jill
You don't
Clayton.
like naked girls?
I
do. You're married.
What? No, I said I didn't like the play.
Oh, all right.
Yes, I do have an appreciation for naked girls, but let's not get into that now.
Or into them.
Yeah, that was a big disappointment. I mean, Jill Clayton comes back to Broadway, and this was a show that I don't know. I don't even think if it were a sitcom plot, it'd have made it on the air.
Ooh.
So I'm kind of hoping she will redeem herself in the Barefoot in the Park revival. Souvenir, Judy Kay, that I liked.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I thought it was cute. Better on Broadway than it was off. It was livelier. It worked a lot better, yes. What else?
What else? Well,
what was the worst thing you saw? Was the worst of all, like really, really rotten? Anything?
Again, I'm reluctant to give out an award for that.
Well, it's not an award.
But I think it would have to be Naked Girl. That was really a very disappointing play.
Okay.
On that. But also the musicals that we had this year, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels,
it was wonderful.
Light in the Piazza. These Little Women. Well, these were shows that were all right, but kind of never broke through to wonderful. I mean, respectable scores, but nothing, say, like Wicked or Avenue.
Yeah, but those won't be on the best or worst for you. I mean, those would be somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
they're definitely in the middle.
What about those?
Getting back to worst, All Shook Up. Nicely staged.
Yeah.
But I have never seen Elvis Presley music so bland. I mean, this is exciting stuff. This is rock and roll, and this play came off like an Elvis Presley movie without Elvis Presley.
Oh, but I thought it was hilarious. I loved the book. I thought it was funny as hell.
I did.
Oh.
And except for the Jailhouse Rock number, which was essentially a recreation of the movie, I just thought the numbers were very dull. And you had some talented people in there. You had some good staging. You had some good performers.
And I'll agree that for me the book was better than the songs. I was waiting through the Elvis Presley songs to get back to the funny story. So I'll go with you on that.
That tells you something either about Elvis Presley songs when he's not singing them, or just about.
Well, what about Beach Boys songs? What did you think of that show?
I'll tell you. Good Vibrations to me was a guilty favorite. Everything, I know everybody panned that show. Everyone hated that show.
Okay.
And there were a lot of things you can criticize about it. But I had a good time. I admit I have a weakness for beach movies. And essentially this was a beach movie with an extra special score because it was the Beach Boys. Staging could have been tighter. There could have been a lot more dance, much better dancing. I mean, come on, it's the Beach Boys after all.
Right.
But I enjoyed the story. It drew me in. And I had fun with it.
Hey, look, I said about defending Lennon for a few weeks while that was still playing. I was trying to tell people, look, I liked it. I thought the music is wonderful, and it's a powerful story. They're setting the biography of John Lennon against the times, which is something that Jersey Boys didn't really do for me, because that was more about those people, whereas there was something more sociological to Lennon. It was, the history of America through him.
Yeah, but, to me, if you're going to do a musical of John Lennon, and not play any Beatles songs.
Right. Come on. Everybody seems to be, carping about that.
Well, come on, John. Whatever you can like what he did post Beatles, or you can not. He did some good stuff.
Yes.
But the Beatles were what put him on the map, and that's what he's going to be remembered for. I mean, fine, Imagine's a great song, but so is the material he did with Paul McCartney, and that's what brought John Lennon to prominence. And to just gloss it over. Which, I mean, they did spend time on it. They spent a good part of the first act, but only to maybe, I think, one Beatles song. Come on.
All right, I guess it's fair. I mean,
You're allowed to like it, Dave. It's okay.
No, but I'm saying if you came to it without knowing that he had written all that stuff with the Beatles, you're sort of bringing baggage to it that isn't necessarily fair to the show.
Well, but who is going to come and see a show about John Lennon and not know that he was part of the Beatles?
Fair enough. Charlie Gross.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you looking forward to in 2006?
Pajama Game.
Game, yeah.
This is a show that is so overdue for a revival. I think it's been 30 years since it was last on Broadway. This is one of my all-time favorite musicals, and I am hoping and praying that they can do for this show what was done for Damn Yankees a few years ago. This is a really classic musical. It's a wonderful score, a beautiful book, and I'm just hoping that it will get the revival it deserves. I'm curious about Harry Connick Jr. because, frankly, when you mentioned the role of Sid Sorokin, which was created by John Raitt, and I think Hal Linden played it in the revival 30 years ago, he's a very different type, both vocally and physically, for the role. So I'm skeptical, but I'm going to keep an open mind.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for being open-minded and open-hearted, as you always are on Dave's Gone By. Remember to catch Two on the Aisle with Charlie and Jeff Goodman, and it's on Friday nights now?
Friday nights. It's actually every other Friday night. Channel 57 in Manhattan, 8 o'clock. If you don't live in Manhattan, go to the Manhattan Neighborhood website. Click on, do it at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 8:30. Click on Channel 57, and there we are.
Yeah, that was easy. Thank you, Charlie Gross. Have a wonderful, wonderful 2006, and I will be talking to you then as well.
Looking forward to it.